Hi, we're here with Phil Bernstein, Vice President of Industry Strategy and Relations at Autodesk, and also an esteemed professor at Yale University. Thanks for joining us, Phil.
My pleasure, Laura.
I have a couple questions for you today. What are the opportunities and challenges for AEC professionals today?
Well, we talked a little bit about that this morning on our main stage presentation. I think they're sort of twofold. Clearly, the biggest challenge that's facing all of us is the economy. You know, folks are just not building as much as they are. But there are other things going on out there. There are new uses of technology, new services they can get out there, new ways of organizing and executing projects. There's lots of different kinds of projects out there: renovation, restoration projects, historic preservation, energy upgrades, renewable energy projects. So you have to think positive thoughts, I think. I mean, in all the years I've been in the industry, it seems to me that we don't really define new opportunities until there's a recession, and this one's a big one, and it's given us lots of time to think about the problem.
Sure. And how is Autodesk supporting customers now during this time and given this environment?
Well, it was interesting. When the recession first hit really strongly up in the Northeast where we're located, we got a phone call from the local architectural association, the Boston Society of Architects, where I'm a member. They said the number one request we're getting from laid-off architects is Revit training. Can you get us Revit training? So we thought, okay, this is clearly something that people feel they need to either get through this thing or be ready for when it starts. So we provide software to a lot of folks who are not working. We provide training for a lot of folks who are not working. But I think the most important thing that we're trying to do is be clear about what the world's going to look like when this is over, how important technology is going to be, and therefore how empowered design professionals will be once this is over. Humans always build things. There's always work for architects and engineers and contractors. It's just sometimes it's harder than other times. And we try to be optimistic.
And so it sounds as though it's a good time to really hone your skills and really embrace the technology and be ready for the next opportunity.
No, it is. I think it's an excellent time, and I think people really have to do that, not just because they want to stay relevant, but if you look historically, at the last really deep AEC recession, at least in the United States, which was 91, 92, 93, the professionals who were unable to cross the CAD bridge at that point, particularly mid-career professionals who were not CAD capable once the recession was over, eventually got pushed out. So it's actually important if you're young to have those skills, but also if you're in the early part or the mid part of your career, you need to really understand the implications of technology, because you can't separate technology from design anymore. And so I think that's one of the reasons you see so many people here at AU. I mean, the economy's down. A lot of these folks had to come on their own nickel, and they're here because they realize that technological skills and career success are completely tied together now.
And that provides a good segue to my next question. How does BIM fit into this equation?
Well, when I was a kid, we were taught to draw stuff because that was the fundamental way that buildings were represented and therefore built. We're now starting to see that the fundamental means of representation is modeling. It's not drawing anymore. So this isn't a discussion about which tool you're using. It's a much more fundamental discussion about the way that architects and engineers and contractors are going to talk to each other to get their work done. And that transition is clearly underway in the U.S. right now. All the survey information suggests that it's over the tipping point. And it's like it would be like you asking me 25 years ago, what's the role of drawing in AEC? That's how I see it.
Oh. And you just said the U.S. What about internationally, globally? How is BIM rolling out there as well?
Getting there. I mean, there are advanced markets like Australia where there's a lot of energy. There are pockets of places where there's a high degree of BIM sophistication. I was just talking to the Hong Kong Housing Authority. They build 15,000 housing units a year in Hong Kong. They are completely BIM enabled. Other markets, less so. Awareness is rising. Implementation follows after that.
Okay, well, Phil, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We're happy to speak to you, and we'll see you guys next time in the next edition of our AUV On Demand interviews.